As the world falls away and I can't find a reason, as the world turns to gray, it's killing me unwillingly, and I am just the same as you.
Willie Brickstrip is one of the only Drake and Josh episodes that's actually an hour long, while iCarly gets possibly 6, I guess, not counting I Quit, not counting I Part with Victorious and I Go to Japan. But then again, this is when Dan Snyder's shows were just popular for comedy purposes, while other shows are popular because of seinen and other material. Oh my god, I just can't believe that Victorious and iCarly has more views than Drake and Josh. I mean, what I mean by that is that it just gets more attention than Drake and Josh. I was just referring to YouTube stuff and stuff. I do put focus on the TV ratings, but at the same time, YouTube. I'm just saying. And one of the guys who are the president of Especially Records saw Drake's song Makes Me Happy, which I'll get to the song later, and he really loved it. So he wants to have a record deal with Drake Parker so he can probably become famous if he actually signs the deal. Josh is also Drake's manager, so he does all the decisions. However, he's distracted by Brickstrip, and the guy gave him a contract which he didn't read because those strips are very, very big. Due to Josh signing a contract that he didn't read, the song Drake sang was, bubblegum pop is what he says. Yeah. Drake's song is completely ruined because of Josh, and Josh ends up getting fired because of his mistake. Drake was about to play dirty against the guy who ruined his song. However, Josh says it isn't right, but Drake told him that sometimes you have to play dirty back when someone else does it dirty to you. And he says he always follows by the rules, and that's why he's always a user. You know what? A moment like this when Drake actually says something to Josh is really not that common. I mean, sure, he did that in season 2, but considering the fact that these characters are more different than they used to be in the earlier seasons, it kind of works out, considering the fact that this is really important to Drake. He's completely having his song be part of a record deal, and then it's all screwed up. And it's all Josh's fault. However, Josh decides to make things right. He tries to convince the people at Spin City Records, yes, I did spell those names right, I know, I just didn't see the words whatsoever, to listen to Drake's song again. However, the producer, one of the people, is going to take the song and show it in the football arena in front of millions of people. Well, not really millions, but thousands of people. Millions watching at home, I guess. However, Josh has this idea. He swapped the CDs. A very smart idea, and also a dirty trick that he actually did. And thanks to Josh's plan, Drake's song has finally exposed in front of millions of people at home. However, Josh gets a call from Spin City Records, and it was illegal. It was a violation to their contract. They were going to get sued, and they're also going to go to prison. Yeah, that's really a very bad, dirty trick. Of all the things that Josh has ever did, considering the fact that he never did dirty tricks as much as Drake, this is by far the worst out of everything Drake has ever done. Oh my god. You know, I would have feel bad for them, but it was actually kind of hilarious considering the fact that Drake did so many bad things, and what Josh did something bad once, it was the worst out of them all. However, they're not really in trouble at all because they had the song be downloaded, and there was so many downloads, it completely crashed the server. Which means that Drake is finally getting the big hit that he deserves, while the person who ruined the song got fired. So everything is pretty much back to normal. I mean, they almost broke the law, but they had good reasons onto doing it. There are 2 subplots and maybe a few mini plots in this episode. One of the subplots is that Helen's grandmother is going to stay with him because They're completely busy on preparing this wedding at the premiere because Helen was just trying to save money, obviously. And it will lead to Drake and Josh sharing the room to Megan. And since Megan, being the demon girl she is, turned Drake and Josh's room into a girl's room. You know, of all the bad things Megan has done in the show, this is by far the most hilarious. I mean, the fact that she managed to decorate the entire room completely in a girl's room is actually kind of cool. Besides, it's actually kind of cool looking, to be honest. And the fact that Drake and Josh completely had to share a bed, and when Megan tries to convince them that they did something wrong, they think that Mom and Dad are going to believe them, but they're not. They're really not. A really great way to have this idea, especially at the end of the show. As for the other subplot, since Helen is about to get married, she's going to cut down her hours at the premiere. So she's going to ask someone to be the manager of the premiere. And the person who is going to be the manager of the premiere is Mindy. If you want to know why Mindy is part of the... If you want to know why Mindy is doing this job, it's because she would get more money and probably be proud of herself that she's actually doing this manager job. However, this made Josh completely upset to the point that he really wants to be manager so much, especially wearing that gold vest. However, the whole reason why Mindy is part of this is because she wanted to hang out with Josh more. For this being the first and only 44-minute special coming out of Drake and Josh, I think they really don't know what to do to make it 44 minutes. So they had to add some jokes and have a subplot where Mindy is actually part of the special. And to be quite honest, it really works. Since that this is the final time we ever get to see Drake and Josh and Mindy into a relationship situation. Well, Mindy is the manager and Josh has to do everything what Mindy has to say. And before we continue with the ending, there's only one more person I'm forgetting about in this special. Of course, it's Crazy Steve. You really think I forgot about him? Well, I did mention him in the storm, so I'm going to mention him here. This is probably one of his best performances ever, because Drake accidentally eats his enchilada, which causes him to be angry only at the right time. He can only be angry for about a few times per day. And when he reacts to it, he completely insults Josh. Oh boy, Crazy Steve is just getting better and better, and it just gets even way better later on in this episode. Well, Steve works on a Monday because Monday is his bad day. Crazy Steve uses his shoes and then throw them around, and then might hurt someone, and while he also says cock-a-doodle, the cow says moo. And the best part is when Josh is trying to stop him, he sings she is coming around the mountain when she comes on, and it somehow calms down Crazy Steve. Oh my god. You know, watching this episode, it really shows that Josh and Steve are a good pair when it comes to scenes in the premiere. It's just really sad that this is the final season of Drake and Josh. But at least Jerry Trainer isn't going to leave after the show, since he's part of iCarly as Carly's brother Spencer. That's really the plus I can say about him. But anyways, as for the ending, well, a wedding is going on. Well, due to a camera malfunction at the back, there's a fire going on, which means that Craig accidentally ruined the wedding. However, they're going to have a wedding outside of the theater. Because Josh did say that it's not about perfect weddings, it's about two people who love each other while also around people who actually love those people. Which is a really sweet line from Josh. So they have the wedding outside in the parking lot. Well, it all ends with Drake completely saying his song makes me happy. In my opinion, I really enjoyed this song so much, especially how it really got so much popularity after this episode. I'm not sure how many views this season got when it premiered, but it really got like more than 500 viewers, if I'm right. I think that's what really happened when this special premiered. But anyway, that was really big strip, and for it being the only 44-minute special from Drake and Josh, it was great. However, due to episode order, this is supposed to be the series finale of the show. Well, not counting the Christmas movie, because that's basically a reunion movie than a finale. But anyways, this is supposed to come out after Helicopter and Dance Contest. However, due to schedule mistakes, it's officially the third to last episode of season 3. Yeah, I really don't understand what's with the Nickelodeon episode placements, but I know that other networks did the same thing as well, so I'm not complaining here, even though that this is actually a great ending to end off the show. I recommend to watch this special because it really shows that Drake and Josh can not only do comedy right, but also storytelling right, with probably 3 subplots. One that is very interesting, the second, probably more development on Josh and Mindy, and the other, comedy purposes. Seriously, Helen's grandmother is probably one of the best parts of this special, considering the fact that she's old and she's also really aggressive. I can say that this special is probably the one and only Drake and Josh special that is considered a one of a kind. I give Really Big Shrimp a 9 out of 10. By the way, at the end of the special, Drake and Josh are fighting a shrimp, which they also did in The Amanda Show. Probably a great comeback, probably a great callback of something that happened years when The Amanda Show came to an end, and Drake and Josh were the only characters who won a show by themselves. Such a very great ending. But I'm not done with Drake and Josh yet, because there's one more episode that I'm going to be reviewing.